What about all the people who are not at the airport? Because it seems like they might be, look, for lack of a better word, right now screwed. We know that they are holed up in their homes in Kabul. We know that a lot of them are out even in the provinces, unable to get to Kabul. What is the U.S. government doing, if anything, to provide safe passage for people to the Kabul airport so that they actually can get out in the numbers that the administration is promising?
So the United States has communicated to the Taliban in no uncertain terms that they are not to interfere with the safe passage of Afghans to the airport who are looking to depart the country, and people who we are prioritizing for these flights that I've just described that are going to start
John,
to bring people out of the country. And just to finish this, we've been quite clear to the Taliban that should they interfere with those efforts, they will face severe consequences, and we have the military forces in place to be able to execute that. We are not seeing them interfering at this time with people's ability to get to the airport, and it is going to be very important that that continues going forward. Now, Brianna, you know as well as I do that the United States is not in a position now and will not be in a position going forward to provide security throughout the city of Kabul and throughout the nation of Afghanistan. We are focused on the airport. We are focused on these priority populations and executing the evacuations that the president has ordered.
So this plan to evacuate up to 30,000 people, Americans as well as Afghans. So it sounds like those are just people at the airport. Do you have a handle on the numbers? Are there that many people at the airport right now?
So, Brianna, that's not just people at the airport. These are people, again, in particular categories. People who worked alongside the United States mission over the last 2 decades, many of whom are in the process of applying for a special immigrant visa program created by Congress to enable people who face additional risks because they supported our mission to get out of the country. We are also going to be seeking to evacuate and have already begun the process of evacuating locally employed staff of our mission in Afghanistan, of our embassy, as well as other Afghans who are particularly vulnerable because of their circumstances. That is going to be the focus, as well as you say, American citizens who happen to be present in Afghanistan, of which there is a significant number. We are going to be making evacuation flights available to them as well.
Okay, but you say these aren't just people at the airport that you're going to evacuate, but you also say you can't provide safe passage for people to the airport. So then how is it not just people at the airport?
We are going to be providing security at the airport, and the people getting on these flights are going to be people who are selected based on these priority categories that we've identified.
Okay, but so I asked you, are the 30,000 just people who are those who are holed up at the airport and I guess qualify is what you're saying. But when I asked you if it's just people at the airport, are you trying to say that underneath that category are a number of Afghans and Americans who may not be at the airport? And if so, how do you get them?
So we are asking people in an orderly way when their flight is called. And again, this is not going to be just a free-for-all. It can't be for security reasons work that way. When people's flights are timed, we are asking them to show up at the airport to be present to get on those flights, not just whoever happens to come to the airport. And we have messaged quite clearly both to applicants and people who might be eligible for these flights, as well as publicly that is the case. This is all going to require, again, establishing clear security at the airport, and that is the main focus of the effort today. We believe we have the troops in place, the personnel in place to be able to execute that, and that is moving forward in real time and has improved since some of these images aired.